Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is a news video, one of two videos that I'm going to be doing today. I think later on I am going to be dropping my thoughts on the PSG versus Real Madrid game. Add some Champions League insight to the channel that doesn't involve Chelsea. Obviously because some big games are going to be kicking off now. So I'll do a little roundup after that game is said and done because I expect fireworks. I expect a big game and I think there will be things that need to be said after that game is said and done. So we'll see what happens, but I'll give you my thoughts after that is done later tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for my thoughts on PSG versus Real Madrid in the first leg. Just a reminder, Chelsea play their first leg next week. So there are games playing this week, then games next week, and then vice versa. So we'll see what goes down. But before we get into matters at hand in this video today, I want to let you know this video is brought to you and sponsored by the OneFootball app. So make sure you hit that link in the description to download the OneFootball app today, as it's my #1 source for everything that I need in regards to Chelsea and other teams, not just in the Premier League, but elsewhere. All of my footballing news, any transfer news, all my statistics, my fixtures, results, league tables, cup standings, whatever, it's there. Make sure you hit that link in the description, download the OneFootball app now, and enjoy. Let's get into the two topics that I have at hand for you guys today, starting off with Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta has been offered a 2-year deal at Barcelona. And I think I'm right in saying that this is probably going to happen. So we have to prepare ourselves. But the latest is that it's apparently done in terms of a pre-contract agreement, obviously using a Bosman move for the summer. That's obviously meaning that you can talk to a player once they are approaching the end of their contract in the summer. From January onwards, you're allowed to talk with them despite them still being under contract. You can talk with them, arrange a pre-contract agreement, do what you want, as he's a free agent. So that rule applies. They're allowed to do that. Apparently they've done so, and Azpilicueta has been offered a 2-year deal at the Nou Camp with an extra option to extend. So there is not just the fact that you could get 2, but you could get maybe 3 at Barcelona. Free transfer. He goes back home to Spain, and he's still playing at Barcelona. I mean, yes, Barcelona are in the mud right now in terms of their finances, but in terms of trying to build something and get something from the ground up again, it's a project and it's a challenge, and Azpilicueta would definitely be playing 100% with what he's achieved, what he's been able to accomplish. He walks into that Barcelona team right now on the right-hand side, and that at least gives him the potential to be selected for Spain when it comes to the World Cup in December, because I predict that is going to be his last international tournament before he calls it a day. So it goes hand in hand with his personal objectives, and he just knows that if he were to stay at Chelsea, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't play, and that could have an effect on him being selected for Spain at the World Cup. And as I've said, that would probably be his last tournament before he announces his retirement from international football. So there is that. Obviously, Chelsea are still looking to extend, but apparently there's just been no moves whatsoever. There's been no progress. Nothing's happened. And we've had Fabrizio Romano confirm on his Here We Go podcast that, according to him, Barcelona have offered Azpi a 2-year contract with an option of extending by another 12 months. And it seems like that right now is option #1 for Azpilicueta for Barcelona. And I don't think he's going to be signing a new deal with Chelsea Football Club. On top of that, you have to bear in mind that Dani Alves is out of contract this summer as well. He's come on a very short-term basis. He's just come to help his buddies out. That's it. He's being paid peanuts. He's done it out of goodwill just because of his connection with Barcelona, because of the history, because he got called upon by his friend, his long-term teammate, Xavi, who he played with. And he was like, okay, I'll come and help you guys out. You guys need it right now. You're in the mud. I'll help you out. And I'll be happy to play at Barca once again. So he's done that out of free will, out of goodwill. And yeah, that contract comes to an end this summer. So what happens with Dani Alves, it's going to happen with Dani Alves. But if he is not going to renew, if he's just going to, he's just come to help and in the summer, he's leaving, Azpilicueta, as I've said, walks into that Barcelona team. But what I do want to stress is with Azpilicueta, if he does go, which I predict he will, he needs to be given the best send-off that there is to give. In the same way that we managed to give a good send-off to John Terry and we allowed him to speak on the mic and there were tears and that, even thinking about that now, I remember that day and I'm just like, I can't believe this has come to an end. Lampard didn't really get a send-off, let's have it right. Didier did, but more like off the pitch because he scored in that Champions League final, then left and then he came back and then we had a little thing, but that was, you know, that was just fun and games, I guess. That was nice just because he came back when he didn't have to. With Azpilicueta, this is it. This is goodbye. This is goodbye. So I would like, if he were to leave Chelsea, for things to be announced before. That way, when it comes to his last game at Stamford Bridge, let's do something big for him. Because he's won every single trophy that there is to win. He's considered a club legend. And I wish him all the best. And I hope he goes to Barcelona and smashes it. Once he arrives there, he does well. And then he's going to retire from football. So, yeah, I would wish Aspi all the best. We'll see what happens in the build up to that. But for now, I do want to stress there are things to achieve. It's not done yet. We're still going for the Carabao Cup. We've still got to try and retain our Champions League and the FA Cup. And let's try and see what we can do. End the season on a high. Maybe Aspi still has trophies to lift in blue. Fingers crossed. Now, let's move to story number 2, which is quite big. But I saw the name and I was thinking, this is a talking point. This is a talking point. So apparently, Roman Abramovich is thinking about bringing in a sporting director. Now, some of you are probably confused, thinking, we already have a director. Correction. We do not have a sporting director. Or, as some other clubs name it, a director of football. We don't have that. We have a club director, that's Marina Granovskaya. She's in charge, right? And she takes charge of all business sides of things as well. The final say is technically with her because she's been given that responsibility by Roman Abramovich. If something is too big for her to handle and it's got to be Roman, then Roman decides. But she will execute that. She's club director. Right now, Petr Cech is technical and performance advisor. I assume that is eventually going to lead to technical director. That again doesn't mean sporting director or director of football. The good thing is that he is a football mind. He is someone who's played for the club. He has that value and he has that connection with the team, so that helps. But I think he's more a bridge between team and Marina. I think he's definitely more of that bridge on a day-to-day basis. A sporting director and a director of football will take charge of all footballing affairs at the club. All footballing affairs, not business. All football is down to the director of football in terms of the aims and objectives of the team, in terms of the resources that the team has available to them, in terms of the training ground down to footballing aspects, in terms of Thomas Tuchel and his objectives, into everything to do with football is going to be the responsibility of the director of football. Roman Abramovich is apparently wanting to bring in a football director. A director of football, a sporting director, however you want to call it. And I'm going to let you know now who he has in mind, apparently. So, this is the latest. I'm going to show you the name. This is the man who Roman apparently is looking to bring in. Ramon Planez, who is Spanish, ex-Barcelona director, despite I think that name being a little bit too out there, because I'm going to show you the clubs that he was director at, and you can see at Barcelona he was only there for like 2 or 3 seasons tops. So he walked in at the 18-19 season and he ended up leaving pretty much this season, November. Once the whole collapse at Barcelona happened, he was obviously a part of that, and he ended up leaving the club. But his history is there. Getafe, obviously some other Spanish teams, but even Tottenham Hotspur. He was there at Spurs as sporting director back in 2014-15. Not for very long at all, just under a year, or technically 1 year, we'll say 1 year, but before that, Espanyol and some other Spanish teams as well. Now, I've got a little bit of hesitancy because of his history here. Barcelona, during that terrible time, he was a part of that. And in a very senior position, sporting director. So that makes me a little bit cautious. At the same time, when you read up on Ramon Planez, he was responsible for the signings of Gavi, the discovery of Pedri. It was him. So that's a good sign in terms of scouting. In terms of scouting, even at Tottenham Hotspur, he spotted Dele Alli from MK Dons. So, in terms of scouting, he has ability. And right now, when I look at Chelsea and what we need in terms of football, we need scouts, man. We need someone who is going to come in and show us how to scout properly. Right? Because right now, Scott McLachlan is not doing it. And I mean that with all the utmost respect for maybe some of the good things he's done at the club. He's been there a very long time. But overall, our scouting is not good enough. I saw a report earlier on that Manchester City are about to pluck out someone who plays for Grêmio in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, for a fee of about 6 million. I mean, you see, that Brazilian talent, that is scouting. That is trying to pluck out unidentified talent. You know, or at least players that you can see fits the profile that you need in the team, that has loads of room for development, that you're going to bring in and is not very known at the moment, but you see the potential is going to be someone big. That's scouting. You know, as I've already mentioned before, you don't need a scout to spot Lukaku. You know, we already know who he is. You know, we know what he's done. We need that unidentified talent or the up-and-coming players. That's the role of a scout. At Chelsea right now, that's very weak. Ramon Planes, is he the right guy? I don't know, but when you look at some of the players that he's managed to pluck into Barcelona, like a Gavi or like a Pedri, that's very positive. A Dele Alli into Tottenham, who for a few years after 14-15 done very well at Tottenham, and if he just stayed on the right track, him personally as a man and as an individual, because I feel like he let himself go. He had the potential, but we've seen it from countless managers now at Tottenham who just don't rate him because of his mentality. That's down to him. But in terms of his ability as a footballer, he got plucked out and he done very good things at Tottenham. So maybe as a scout, maybe in terms of sorting out our scouting department, a director of football of the quality like Ramon Planes might actually help us. But I want to leave the question to you guys. Do you know anything that I haven't mentioned already about Ramon? Or do you think that, no, I don't want him? Or do you think, yes, I want him. This is great. This is going to be good. If we get him as director of football, that would be fantastic. Let me know what you think. And also let me know about Azpilicueta going to Barcelona on a 2-year deal if that were to happen. But he's been offered it now. There's maybe a pre-contract agreement in place. It's looking like he's leaving Chelsea. But let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. And also keep your eyes peeled for later on where I give my review on PSG versus Real Madrid. We'll get some non-Chelsea reviews up on this channel now and some other views going around the football world, obviously. So I'll see all of you then. Thank you all so much. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you have enjoyed this. I'll see you later. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.